First of all, getting the train in Germany, I know in the UK it's pretty bad too, but the Germany feels like next level, like confusing and inefficient, the train system, which is, I feel like, characteristically un-German. How did that happen? I feel like the Germans should have figured this out. So I went to go and get the train, and obviously I'm riding with Deutsche Bahn, who I will now find out is a very inefficient and bad train company. So I book my train, right? And, you know, I'm on vacation, you know, I'm feeling like, all right, yeah, I'll scam myself. Because in the UK, first class on the trains is such a scam. It's never worth it. But, you know, I was like, you know, maybe Germans, they got it figured out. I'll buy a first class ticket on this train. It was like 15 euros extra or something. I was like, I'll try it. And if it's like super interesting, I'll just like, I'll get a little film and I'll be like, oh, the German train compared to Japan. It was shit. So I go to this thing, right? And I go on the train, which, by the way, already was difficult because in Japan and in the UK normally doesn't do this. It does do it sometimes. In like, when you go to like London, they'll be like, your train is on platform 12. Occasionally, they do some f***ery and they'll be like, it's actually been moved to platform 20. At least they'll tell you that on the sign. Dude, in Germany, Google didn't even know. It gave up. It was like, it'd be between 1 and 20. It said a number, and then when I checked on the day, the number was gone. It didn't even have a number. Even Google didn't feel confident throwing something out. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just figure it out when I get there. And so I'm looking for this train. I cannot find it. Now they do announcements, so good luck. No fucking signage for this goddamn thing. And so I end up going to this German person. I asked him, I was like, hey, do you know where this train is? And he's like, oh yeah, I know. Let me go and ask. And then he like walks off. It comes back like 2 minutes later, and he's like, okay, you need to go to platform 23. And like 23 didn't exist. It was like it was made in like a basement. There's like all the trains are in this one area, and I had to go around the corner, and then there it was. And then on top of that, this train split into two, which was not explained very well. So initially, I was gonna get on this train, and then I didn't realize that the back of the train was the part that didn't go. The other half of the train was the part that goes to where I need to go. This was a mess. Everything about this train was awful. And then I get on the train. I'm like, all right, okay, I found this train. I got my kebab, and I had a kebab. I got a kebab for the train. I'm in Germany. I gotta get a kebab. So I'm trying to like figure out where to go. American trains are 100% worse. Yeah, but we don't expect it of America. We don't expect anything of you, America. We know your trains suck. So you know, I've got kebab in hand. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get my first class seat. It's gonna be good. I go on the train. I look at the first class cabin. It's like an insane asylum, the first class room. It's literally just a piece of like thin plastic and like 4 seats that look no different. So it just makes you look like if you're in first class that you're some kind of like circus animal. Absolute like awful. I was like, all right, okay, well, I'll go and get my seat at least. And I go to walk in, and I'm like, what the? I'm looking. This woman has her skis, because this is a ski village. She's got her skis taken up like 4 seats nearly. So if she's on the seat closest to the aisle, she's got her skis next to her, going across, so it's like facing her. So she's like blocked off the 4th chair. She didn't want anyone to sit next to her at all. And in my head, I was like, I know I am full as a British person. In the UK, I wouldn't mind doing this. I would just go up to her and be like, move. But in Germany, I was on vacation. I'm sick. I didn't have it in me. I was like, I don't have the mental energy to roll this dice and it maybe being a German Karen. I just wasn't worth it in my head. And so she literally took up all the seats, and I was like, okay, I'll just go and sit in like the peasant cabin. Oh, so I basically just wasted 15 euros. So I sat down, and I got a nice seat. And then a fan came on the train and said hi, and that was nice. But then the train got so full, and everyone had skis. And so I'm sitting in this chair, and then we're trying to like get like 2 more of us on. It was crazy. It was very, very, very busy. It was nice though. But on the way back from this town, I was trying to get the train, and then this guy on the platform who was dressed normally was like screaming something in German. And then he repeats it in English. He's like, okay, this half of the train goes here, this half of the train goes to Munich. And as I'm walking past the guy, like my shoulder, I guess that, you know, it's like a busy platform. I like just nudge his phone slightly. He doesn't drop it or anything, but I just nudge it. And I went like, oh, sorry. And then he proceeds to scream at me in German. And I was like, oh, well, that didn't feel great. And I was like, I said sorry, but you know, it's a little bump. It happens. I was like, oh my God, that guy was kind of heated, bro. And so I go to sit in my seat, and I'm like, man, I said sorry. It was an innocent mistake, man. I felt bad. Anyway, the guy starts walking up, on the train. It's a European train, so they have train conductors. And then, I'm sitting there, and this guy goes, ticket, please. And then I look up. the ticketing officer, the guy I hit in Germany, he looks at me, he makes eye contact with me. It's so awkward because I know that he remembers that I bumped into him and that he was giga pissed about it. So I was like, yeah, scanned the ticket, and then he was like, I think in his head, I could see the mental cogs. I think he was praying that I was an asshole who didn't pay for a ticket. And now, mistake me if I'm wrong here, Germans, but it seems very, very easy to not have a ticket, to not pay for a ticket in Germany. There was pretty much zero resistance half the time checking if I had a ticket. And this is the one time, and I could feel that he wanted me to not have a ticket. I don't know if I'm reading too much into this, but I think he was hoping for the revenge. So, but anyway, yeah, it was fine. I got on the train. It was chill. It was pretty uneventful outside of that.